Hi guys, Karen here. Today I'm scrapbooking the reverse side of this layout that I did and I showed in my layout share, and it's of the trip up Niagara Falls that we did on our Canada trip, and I'm using some 6x6 paper pads for these 4 6x6. They're like mini layouts using this type of these pocket pages because they're all 6x6, which is useful when you're combining portrait and landscape photos. So I'm using, primarily I've been using the Chamel Go Now Go collection or paper pad with some of the embellishments for these Canada photos, but I've also dipped into or trying to use up the last of my Journey paper pad and a Crate Papers open book, because the colours are all very compatible with these photos. So here I'm just punching out some squares in order to make my title, and I'm going to stamp on each one the letters. You may have noticed that the camera angle isn't very good on this part of the video, and also the lighting's a bit weird. That's because it's the very first bit of filming that I ever did, and then I put it aside, and I've come back to it to finish the whole layout. And a bit later on you'll find that things improve a bit, because I've learned a little bit better how to center my photos or my work under the camera. So I was still very much in learning process here, but very soon it'll improve a bit. The color will look better, the coloring will look better, or the lighting will be better, and I'll have the camera in a better angle. So I'm just sticking on my letters here. So I've punched out all the little squares and then stamped the word Hornblower, because it's the Hornblower Cruises, which operate from the Canadian side of the Niagara Falls, and then on the American side it's the Made in the Mist. So here the camera angle is a bit better. I've moved it, and I've got it in a much better place, and the lighting is a bit better. So hopefully the rest of the film should look a lot better now. So I'm just finishing off this first little mini layout, doing a little bit of journaling just to say, to explain that all the red ponchos are for the Canadian boats, and all the blue ponchos are the American boats. And so that's the end of the first little mini layout. I'm just trying to find a few little bits and pieces to decorate it with. Trying out some die cuts. It's a bit big, doesn't really fit there. So I think in the end I go for some enamel shapes. I bought the enamel shapes and the ephemera pack from I think it's My Mind's Eye by the Sea collection, which is just handy for these I suppose seafaring type layouts that I'm doing for the Niagara Falls pictures. So that's it done, and then my next one is when I actually took these photographs after we'd had our trip, so that to show where the boats went, and that it went right under the falls. And this is it, just getting towards the end of just approaching the falls there. And so I've just changed the colour. I was going to back it on white, and then I decided that actually this page, this turquoise, really brings out the colour of the water there. It was such a beautiful sunny day. And the water looks spectacular in the colour blue and the white mist against it. It was just stunning. It's a place that everybody seems to want to go to, but when you actually get there, it just blows you away. It's an amazing place. So I'm just getting a few little die cuts. I bought this sticker pack when I was over in Canada from Michael's. I had an exciting trip to Michael's, which was something I really wanted to do, and I managed to pick up lots of stickers with Canadian places on it that I could use in my scrapbooking when I got home. And I've just found a little tag in the similar sort of colour scheme, and I've written on it. I've added a sticker as to where we are, and I think I was just saying about going under the falls. I'm just going to write on that. I can't remember what I said. So I think I was just saying about just about to approach the falls, and already getting pretty wet from the mist. So just sticking that down with a good old tape. I've had a bit of a falling out with my ATG gun, and it keeps unravelling. So even though that would make life a lot easier if I could get it to work, I'm sticking with my tape because it works for me at the moment, and the ATG gun definitely isn't working. So more of those enamel shapes. They just give that feeling of being at sea, although it's not really the sea, but I just think it helps to create the atmosphere of where we are. I keep trying to use that Canadian flag, but it just doesn't work on there. It's just too red and too glittery, and it just somehow didn't work there. So I didn't use it. I've tried it a couple of times, and somehow it didn't end up on this layout at all. So just stapling down a couple of phrases, and then I'm working on the next page. And when I saw the branding strip on this page, I thought actually that would work quite well as a backing page. So I found the right sheet in the pack, which I think is from the Journey collection. I haven't got many left in that collection, in that paper pad, I mean. I bought that some time ago, and I'm managing to almost use it up, which is quite pleased with, because it's hard to use up these paper pads. There's so much in them. So I'm just trimming that down to create the background. By this time I decided, because the backing paper is a sort of grid, and it's grids and lines, I've decided this is going to be my journaling page. And I'm just talking about how it felt to be going right under the falls and be surrounded by the noise and the mist, and how awe-inspiring it was. And it really truly was. You couldn't take photographs while you're there, because you were surrounded by mist, but you didn't really want to do that. You just wanted to concentrate on looking up and what nature can do. And it was really quite an amazing time. We thoroughly enjoyed every moment. It's not a long trip. Excuse me. It's not a long trip, but it's one you never forget. Once you've been there, you never forget that feeling. And I'm just using this little acetate die cup from, I think it was from a Amy Tan ephemera pack from last year. And just although it was in the shape of an arrow, I didn't really want an arrow because it wasn't pointing at anything. So I've just trimmed off the pointy bit of the arrow so that we can just sit on there saying adventure, or let's go on an adventure, or something like that. And then a couple more little phrase stickers. I've decided that one at the bottom is in the wrong place because it just sitting there by itself, so I wanted to put it up with the other one. And having peeled it off, it didn't mark the photograph, but it lost a bit of its sticky, so I had to put some glue on it to make it stick down where I wanted it, up at the top there. And that's that one done. And then the final one is after we've got off the boat, and somebody very kindly took pictures of us looking really rather bedraggled, because you get pretty wet. Even despite your poncho, you get really wet when you're under there. And so I've got very wet hair. But luckily, because it was such a lovely day, we were able to dry off. Our trousers were quite wet and our shoes were wet. But we didn't really care because it was lovely and warm. And we were able to walk along looking at the falls and taking pictures afterwards. And I'm just going through my box. This is what I call my Canada box, because I've collected all sorts of ephemera and stickers that I've bought. Some are from the Go Now Go collection. Some are from the Outfitters collection from Pink Paisley, I think. But I haven't used that much of that yet. And then there's all these paper pads and bits of ephemera and stickers that I bought when I was in Canada. And I've collected them all and keeping them in a box. And I was just having a dive through to see if there's anything I could find for this final little layout. And so I'm just kind of trying out some bits to go behind it. I decided that pink and white stripe was just the wrong pink, but I wanted a little bit of pink there, just to give a bit of colour, and because I'm wearing a pink t-shirt, so I thought it just needed that little bit of pink in the background. So I'm just cutting up a few odds and ends left over from the paper packs. I keep all the little bits and pieces in case I need to tuck them behind things. So I'm just trying out putting them behind in various places, fiddling about as usual, trying to get it to look how I want it. And so I'm just trying these out, and eventually I decide where I want them and stick them down. And that wasn't it. I've finally gone for putting those two bits of pink behind at the top and at the bottom of the photograph. and then backing it onto that slightly leafy, very pale beigey coloured paper, and that's just going to provide the backing at the top, and a bit of plaid paper at the bottom, so just to give them a bit of interest behind the photograph. And this was from I think it's from the Go Now Go paper pad, but I could be wrong. I cut out that little tiny piece of I suppose it's a piece of journaling, a little journaling card that I cut out because everything's in mini in these pads, but it was enough, it was big enough just to write that we're drying off in the sunshine after our amazing trip. And so I've just popped that there. Well, I haven't put it down yet because I'm going to put another, I'm still trying that pink paper and that's not going to work, no. And I think that those stickers are from the Go Now Go collection, or from they might be from the Outfitters actually, I think, those stickers. So I've just got a variety of stickers that I'm trying, and I've decided to use that adventure and wander aimlessly word sticker, and then there was a sheet of washi strips, and I thought, oh well, that'll just edge that on the left. I was looking for something to kind of tie those two, the top and the bottom, together on the left, and I thought that little bit of washi would just do the job. It's rather, because there was quite a lot of flowers around, it seemed to work. And I was thinking, well, shall I put this pink sticker on because it's pink? No, it might be pink, but it doesn't really work. I don't like putting things on that don't actually reflect what's going on the picture just because they're the right colour. And I think the last thing I'm doing is looking for some enamel dots or enamel shapes to finish off that little bit of journaling. And so I've got these Amy Tan hearts and this last little journaling dot from, I think that's from the Cute Girl collection. Got it in a kit last year. So that was the last one. So now the exciting part, I'm putting it back in the page protector, and they're just going in there. It's fighting me a bit, but it's going in, and that's it. That's the last one, and that's the last of the layout. So there we are, a little bit of close-ups. Thank you for joining me. I really enjoyed doing this. It's a bit different for me, but I will be doing some more in the future. So if you like this video, please subscribe and like. Goodbye.